guys, what's up? It's Susie Specter, and I am here with the illustrious Shawn James from Shawn James and the Shapeshifters. What's up?
Not much, just ready to play this show.
Man, I'm excited. We're back at the old, we're at the Vanguard, right? Yeah, the Vanguard. It's been many things over the years, and it's looking a lot nicer than it was. You guys remember my old videos from back in this green room with this nice little couch and everything?
Yeah, it's comfy.
Your music is a little bit different than some of the other bands that I've interviewed for my channel. How would you really, and I'm going to play a gratuitous amount of it, but how would you describe like your sound? Like if somebody was like, what kind of music do you play? How do you think you would describe it?
I'd say there's two answers to that based on whether I'm playing solo or with the Shapeshifters, my band. If it's solo, I'd say it's kind of that old world blues like the Son House and Robert Johnson and people like that used to play, in the sense that I'm not a very technical player of it, but I inject a lot of passion and emotion into it. And it's very simple music, but it has a heavy just feel about it, you know. And I'd say that the solo stuff is kind of folk Americana, that dark blues twist in there, but I also grew up in the south side of Chicago, so I have a lot of like gospel chops like that I was...
The south side of Chicago? That's the only side of Chicago I've ever been to.
That's the real side.
It is the real side of Chicago. We got lost there one time, and I figured that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Man, well, one of the things I talk about on my dance channel a lot that people on this channel may not know is like I love emotion. Like one of the things I teach in my classes is emoting, like pushing your passion and your story and your thoughts out of how you dance. And actually another dancer that I love, Miss Lilith Merrick, she's the one that kind of introduced me to all of your music.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I liked it so much, and like when she dances, because she's like pushing all of that energy out into the crowd. One of the things I like in conjunction with that is like your music, a lot of it tells a story.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, I really love the Bear, Hunger. I love the Raven Mockers.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, what inspires you to write? Like, where do you get your inspiration from as far as...
That's a heavy question.
Let's get deep.
It's a lot of different places. Like when I write something like the Bear, the Hawk, or the Wolf, that came from me having this idea about wanting to do a tale or a legend or a folk story of these three different animals based on the Native American, you know, shapeshifter type myths, and I wanted each one to have a different style genre-wise in conjunction with the animal that I was trying to represent. So with the Bear you have more of a heavy, swampy, dirty blues type feel. With the Wolf I went for kind of like a lone wolf kind of thing. It's kind of a wolf slash man who was raised by wolves, and for that one it's kind of sadder and more of an orchestrated folk kind of sound. And then with the Hawk it's more of it's a piano-based album that I added like very heavy ambient stuff around it with the band that I was playing with at the time. But I would say, you know, the inspiration comes a lot of times just in the moment. The thing that was different about doing the trilogy and like the concept albums as opposed to doing a song-by-song thing is that I had the idea for it, and then I had to take a while to kind of flesh out the idea, you know, the progression of the story and everything else. I'm writing a story. It's a little bit different than, say, when I write one song like Flow. Flow I wrote so quickly in 5 minutes because it was just what I was feeling at that time, and it just came out like that, you know, and The Wanderer as well. And it wasn't a concept, it was more just how I was feeling and how it was a very easy, easy release, I guess. Yeah. Whereas the Bear, the Wolf, and the Hawk, those were very much orchestrated albums. Like I had to put a lot more effort and time into it, with the backstory, with how I wanted each animal to have a different vibe of genre and everything.
Well, it shows. I really like it. I love it a lot. I mean, it's really cool because it is like an oral legend that you're kind of like passing down with sick rock behind it, which I think is the best.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Appreciate that.
So there was a video where you're doing a cover, but you were playing in a wolf sanctuary, and I just thought of this when we were talking about your concept album, but man, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure people were telling me that it went viral and all that stuff. I had seen it before I actually knew what your music was.
Right.
If you guys haven't seen that, I might put a link down below, but what was that like playing a wolf sanctuary and all of a sudden just freaking...
It was like the perfect storm, to be honest. It was during our first tour. It was just me, a mandolin player, Baker, and our videographer, Anna, at the time, just traveling together through Colorado, where we decided to go. And we had an off day after kind of a really crappy show in Fort Collins, but these 3 people came out who were just some of the most down-to-earth, wonderful, sweetest people we met, and they took us back to their place, showed us around, told us to call this wolf sanctuary because they saw we had an EP out called The Wolf, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll try and see what happens. So it was very like, we didn't know what was going to happen, and I called, and I told them all that, and I told them we had a videographer with us. Any footage we had, we could use to promote the shelter and hopefully get more donations to help out with that. And they said, yeah, come on down. So an hour later, we were going down there, and there was a snowstorm, like right when we were about to leave. So, and this was about 45 minutes to an hour west of Fort Collins, so right into the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going up these mountains and through these dirt paths, because it's really tucked away, it has to be secluded, you know. And this blizzard is happening, and we get there, and we get out, and you just see these heads from around the trees start poking out, like looking at you and everything. But long story short, I could have never planned for that to happen, and we were just visiting with the wolves first, and then I threw the idea out there. I was like, asked the handler, the guy who takes care of them, do you mind if we, went in there and played a song around them and get the video of it and see what happens? And he was like, no one's ever done that. But if you want to risk it, go right ahead. That's not...
And you were like, risk it? Yes.
Yeah, I was like, let's do it. We had already had the preconceived notion that we were going to do that. Like,
yeah.
Make them let us do that.
Yeah.
Let us do that. And so we get in there, and he has us line up. Because this wolf, first of all, the wolf was one of the biggest, baddest wolves they had. He was 180 pounds. His name was Rajan, which is Indian for king. He was in a pack with a bunch of wolves, and he killed all the males. And they learned that he was a lone wolf, but he was allowed to have one female. It worked that way. He wouldn't harm the female. That was, his lady. So we went into that enclosure, and these enclosures are massive.
Oh yeah.
It's like, think of, I don't know, quarter square mile of woods,
Mm-hmm.
And so we get in there, and he's like, all right, line up. And me, Baker, and the videographer line up. And he said, really, this is going to be pretty easy. Like, he's going to instinctually come up to you and kind of check you out and let you know
whose thoughts,
what his thoughts are. If he likes you, if he doesn't, like, you'll know right away. He's like, just remain calm. Don't do anything stupid. You'll be fine. So he came up to me first, and instantly I'm just standing there straight, and he gets closer. And like, this is a wolf. This is not a big dog.
I'm 6'1", and that wolf outweighs me by a lot.
It was crazy.
So.
His arms were like as big as my forearms. His paws were as big as my hand. You could just see it as he got closer. So he comes up to me, he sniffs me, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he comes back again, like kind of playfully. Like he had this like playful,
what you doing?
Like disposition about it with me. And so I was like, he's really acting like a dog right now, even though this is a wolf. So I reached my hand out, and he like sniffed it, and then he kind of was like, yeah. And so I reached it out again, and I tried petting his head, and he liked it, and I did that, and I pet him for a minute, and then I put my hands down. And he came up to me and put his muzzle underneath my hand, like just like a dog would do. They want you to pet him more.
Oh my
He did that to
God.
me. And the handler goes, okay, you're good. Step back. So I step back. Baker's next in line. The wolf goes up to him like he did me, sniffs him once, and like lurches back and does the most low guttural growl like I've ever heard. It was very mean. So Baker is just like, oh shit, and I'm just freaking out. And the handler like gets a piece of meat or something, and throws it behind him, and takes off
like,
and gets it. Yeah, but in the video, you'll notice the whole time that Baker is constantly
I was gonna say,
really
like,
worried
he's really
because
watching.
he thought the wolf was
see,
gonna
like,
take a bite out of his ass because they didn't like him. But
Aww.
and we didn't, you know, so we get to playing the video, and the wolves are behind us pacing, and we play the song, and right when the chorus hits, this one wolf, Rajan, started howling, and because he was seen as like the more dominant wolf there, 40 other wolves that were in the vicinity that they were taking care of all joined in during a blizzard in the mountains, caught it on HD camera with our video. It was like
I'm like vibrating right now. I just feel like
it was the perfect storm. We didn't know it was gonna happen, and when it did, you can instantly see when they start howling. You can just see a smirk on my face.
Oh, your
I
face,
just start
yeah.
smiling because it was just one of the most beautiful moments of my life.
Best
you know,
day ever.
I never knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I was funny because I was like looking up stuff about you, and then I saw the video, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Because I had seen it before.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and it had sat on the internet for 3 years with not a lot of views, kind of like a very underground thing. And then one day we're in Europe last year in October playing a show in Germany somewhere, and my wife pulls out her phone and she's like, Shawn, this video, have you seen this? And it's got 1 million views, right? Like from 30,000 to 1 million in overnight. I guess somebody posted on Reddit, and then Reddit picked it up, and it was on all these like Wimp, BuzzFeed, all the little sites picked
Hooray
it up,
for
and
social
it just,
media.
yeah, it took off. So now I think it's something stupid like 3.5 million.
Man.
It's gotten us a lot of attention, and it's gotten the shelter a lot of attention as well.
See,
which is
and that's
also
the
really
good part.
Yeah, it's for both, you know, exposes us to more people, gets our name out there, and same for them, so they can take care of more.
And you got to play for wolves. And they
Crazy.
nuzzle you.
I almost don't want to go back and do it again because I feel like there's nothing that would ever live up to that experience.
It would never be that perfect again.
Yeah, no, because it was such an innocent time in the sense that it was our first tour. We were very innocent in the sense of touring musicians as well, and just everything about it was really cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, last but not least, other than that moment being the most epic, what's like your favorite tour moment or your favorite song to play and why? Because a lot of your songs have really deep meaning behind them, like for, you know, veterans and things of that nature. So do you have like one specific song that you think is like, not your magnum opus, but just like something that that brings out that kind of like amazing energy that you...
I would say I didn't explain earlier about the band sound being different.
Oh, right.
The band sound, and I just wanted to explain that before going into that, just because I feel like the two different sounds feed different parts of my soul, and because of that, I feel like there's different songs that also bring out different feelings in other people with each genre based around that. And so the band sound is more this bluesy, heavy, swampy rock and roll thing, and you know, I said earlier, the one-man band is more that blues folk, kind of emotion, singer-songwriter stuff. And with the singer-songwriter stuff, I use that music when I write it a lot of times as my therapy, as my anger, as my sadness, as my joy, everything. And the ones that I find really reach the most people are the ones that are comforting, you know, that I wrote kind of for myself, just going through a hard time. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's songs like The Wanderer, which are really catchy and fun and they're a message about my life, traveling, it's cool. But like the ones that really grip people, I would say are songs like Flow, just because it's kind of talking about dealing with life's problems and just flowing like the river and not letting it get you down and holding you back and stuff like that. Or that you mentioned the veteran thing, Baker wrote a song called Eating Like Kings when he was in Afghanistan waiting to come back to the States, and he lets me play it, and I have gotten some of the most overwhelming emotional responses from veterans playing that live. You know,
Yeah.
just it shakes me to my core when you're just talking about it now, like some of the experiences that I've had because of that, some of the conversations I've gotten into. So yeah, for those I'd say, you know, the more comforting songs, because people can get something from it, and I feel like they needed, it's like they needed that song then, and that's why they related to it. And then when I play that live, it's just like that's like their connecting moment, you know.
I always tell people that music can be like a magic spell if you have it, or if you like science, you know, vibration passes through matter and it causes changes in it. I feel like your vibrations cause good change in people, so.
Hell yeah, no, I hope so.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, so that's like the more emotional side of things, like with the music. And then you have the Shapeshifters, which is more like the heavy, bluesy, swampy rock and roll, like my roaring side. Like as much as I have that soft side. I also have this very hard side as well. And you know, there's songs in that though that portray a different feeling. And with the Shapeshifter stuff, I'd say it's more the intensity of the passion and emotion that we inject into it that makes people feel something. Not that the songs don't, the songs do as well. But yep, your call. Your call.
Anyway, so obviously,
show started.
Road Life. Thank you so much for being here with me, man.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Bye.